on, because the algorithms only notice if people are engaged, and when they aren't engaged, I don't get to see as many people, and I don't get to move my message as far as I'd like as well. So do me a favor, and you can type in where you're joining from today. That's always a great thing. And let me know what it is that that you're experiencing. Are you doing well? Are you going through and you're locked down, you're wide open, whatever it is? Anything you can give me in your comments lets me know that we can connect on a different level than some other, just a regular, chat back and forth. Hey, good morning there, Stacy. You're always there. It's a sunny morning in Saratoga Springs. Thanks so much. I'm going to start off here. Hey, Tristan, good morning. I got a message here this morning, and I thought I'd just read it from Whitney. I had an amazing November. The whole time I've been hearing your voice in my head about not feeding off other people's negativity and pushing forward and being creative. That is great to hear. Honestly, from the moment we shut down, I found ways to continue doing business, and it wasn't even through my website. I do believe attitude is 80% of it, and I always appreciate what I learned from your lives and want to let you know it's helped me. Well, you made my day. Thanks so much for that, Whitney. I appreciate that. I thought I would start off this morning by revisiting a topic that I covered pretty extensively yesterday on LinkedIn. And it was an article that was put out this week, and it was about how the death of major retailers could mean the death of the middle class. And a lot of people, I don't think, quite realize that retail is responsible for 1 in 4 jobs in America. And as much as COVID and everything has impacted it, it still comes down to it is the engine that drives. But it's also the engine that drives people to the middle class. Here's what I mean. I got my degree in conducting. I got my primary degree in conducting and then a minor in business. And I was able to take those skills into a different avenue when I went to retail. And I really had to figure out, how did I go through and navigate this universe and be successful at it? And those of us who were successful at it and were able to build retail chains and businesses and brands, and ultimately the powerhouses that are all out there, are because people figured that out. And what did they figure out? There are only 3 things that really matter. Did somebody buy it? Did they use it? And did they keep it? That's it. That's it in a nutshell. And the more you can focus on that, the more you're going to be successful. But nowadays, we have pretty much tossed in the towel on most of that. There aren't sales goals. It's did you manage payroll down? Did you get online orders out in time? And it has become a very task-oriented business, when the whole idea behind it is having people who can think on their feet and can go through and understand, did I get somebody to buy it? Did they use it? Did they keep it? And so that whole path to middle class was built because people who rose to that challenge and figured that out could train others to do it. And that's what it was. And those of you who are small business owners, same thing with you. A lot of you have come in from a different area. You worked in corporate America. You got tired of it. You bought a franchise. You opened your own store or restaurant or whatever it's going to be. And you figured it out, how that all worked. That is why it is so important that malls are able to stay, and we realize that path to middle class has got to still be there, or else we're just going to be a bunch of people who are fulfilling online orders, which, as you know, is not building margin and is incredibly intense. And every time somebody touches something, you're losing margin on it. So just be thinking about that what are the opportunities you're providing your employees to be able to take what they've learned in school or in their life and be able to hone in on those 3 things. There's only 3 that matter. Do you remember what I just said, what they were? Did they buy it? Did they use it? And do they keep it? Most retailers are going to have a tsunami of retail returns coming in after the holidays, and they are bracing for it. But what do we got to do with all that stuff, right? Ultimately, someone has to sell it. Someone has to find a way to use it. And if you didn't do a good job in preparing the customer for what it would do and how to use it, and it comes back to you, you're probably going to eat all the profit that you would have gotten on it. So that's my first things to show you this morning. So there you go. I have an awful lot of people from all around the world here this morning. That is great. I love seeing that. Kristen, you're telling us that your small brick and mortar and open, lots of people shopping local, getting lots of new customers, been open for 15 years. We will survive. I love that. That is great. Now if I can just hide that message. That'll be good. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, because you know how that goes. When you figure that out, you say, all right, maybe that's it. All right, good. As you can tell, I'm trying yet another new platform, because last week, the first 5 minutes was all pixelated and I looked like Max Headroom back from the 80s. And I am definitely dating myself. So there you go. All right, let's get to your questions. You have some interesting ones today. Greg, with the news about UPS and other carriers raising rates and not picking up packages, how do you see retailers improving supply chain delivery in the near future? Well, I'd say take a page from Walmart and Target and get those darn customers to drive to your store and pick it up themselves. That last mile is really expensive, and they are all realizing that if they hire a third party, it's going to cost them more. And even if you use a local third party, it's costing you more. And please don't deliver packages on your own. That's just not a good use of your time. But find one carrier that you can really develop a relationship with and stick with them. That's the closest thing I have, Greg, because there are no easy answers. You know, Amazon is cutting out UPS and FedEx more and more. They're building their own delivery devices that may open up more for UPS and FedEx. But make no mistake, the rates are going to go up, especially if you're an occasional shipper. You're just not getting the discounts that if you did more. So if you could just, and that's true of any vendor, right? The more that you can go through and become a bigger fish to them rather than dabbling with a bunch of others, the better service you're going to get. I hope that helps. And then you followed up, Greg. Thanks very much. You got 2 in here today. What are some steps single store retailers can take to improve their marketing more effectively? I think it's really important you understand your marketing channel, right? Because I'll tell you, when I first started out, I just figured, oh, I'll just take out Google ads and that'll get people to my site. Well, it may. The problem is it aligned exactly with what that person's intent was when they went to your site? A lot of times we pay for ads that go to sites that don't convert because we didn't really understand what has to be on that page, what questions have to be answered, and that alignment of the ad doesn't match where they end up with. It's got to be exact, which is why if you write blogs or you have hyperlinks, it's really important you don't say something like, like John was speaking about here. That Google doesn't like things like that. They want to know exactly where you're going to be taking them. So if you're going to say it, you'd say, like George Smith, the CEO of XYZ, was talking about the problem with returns for local retailers, and that's the hyperlink, and it goes exactly to an article that says exactly that, then Google is going to reward you. So it's just really important that you understand your marketing journey, where they are, and then I'll understand the difference between long play and short play. A long play is like what I do. I do a lot of content out. If you follow me on LinkedIn or Facebook, you know I put a lot of content out there, a lot, because it's a long play. I want to have consistency that I am the retail authority when it comes to brick and mortar, when it comes to retail sales training, when it comes to moving your merchandise in a more profitable manner. That's what it is. So for me, it's a consistency. But for you, it may be I got to sell 12 widgets before Christmas, and that's going to influence things differently. And the third thing I would say to you, Greg, is get rid of the vanity metrics. We're all guilty of them. I'm the same way. In fact, I'm going to ask you right now, if you're online, to please make sure that you give me some thumbs up. If you're on LinkedIn, give me applause. Give me some hearts if you're watching this live on YouTube, because quite simply, we get caught up in, oh, I got so many views. All that really counts, though, is did they convert? Did I get a new follower, or did they take action and get into my ecosystem where I got their name and address and their company and I can market to them again? If you're just looking at like, oh, I got so many views, that in a quarter you could call somebody. I don't know. Do we still call people with coins? Probably not. I don't know. Payphones are probably gone. All right. So there you go. Alicia says, good morning, Bob. Sunday mornings are my moral boost. All right, I'm going to show this because it looks like it's kind of long. Alicia, good morning. Sunday morning is my moral boost day. Thank you for helping me and all of us navigate through these unfortunate times. I close in July due to relocation and reopen in November. We're doing fabulous in the new location. I love hearing that. That is fabulous. Sam says, what are the best possible ways of handling troublesome shoppers? Well, first off, let's just remember they have the same needs as you. We all want to be seen and valued and heard. So I don't know if you're talking about masks, which, still people having to deal with. As you know, I've been a consistent voice since March. No mask, no entry, no service. That's simple. Somebody wants to play games with them. They're probably not your customer, and they have an agenda that they want to put you in the middle of. And quite simply, I want you to stay open. You stay masked up to stay open. It's that simple. With as many people that are dying across the United States and the world, I would say if you asked me to wear pink boa around my neck, and it might solve 5% of the world not getting ill, I'd be wearing a pink boa. So whatever I could possibly do that gives me hope that we can get this thing under control, I'm there. But outside of masks, I think that you go through and it comes down to what are you talking about? Somebody who's asking for discounts all the time, or they have high needs for service and they're only buying items that are 50% off. Is that a problem customer for you? Is it they're swearing at one of your employees? That's not acceptable. Get out. But I think if it's just, you just have this general thing about troublesome shoppers, I think we always have to approach it that I want to listen to understand. I want to restate in one sentence what I think the issue is and ask them what they want me to do about it. You may not be able to do about whatever they want, but as long as they feel like you heard them and you've been asked, so did I hear your concern correctly? Yes. Great. What would you like me to do about it? I want a full refund after I bought this 15 years ago. Well, what I can do is suggest a place you can get it fixed, but I don't give refunds for that. Don't tell them what you can't do. Just tell them what you can do. I hope that helps. The other thing is just a short commercial. The New Year's Sprint for SalesRx is coming up. It'll be January 15th. You can write that down where you go through and you sign up for SalesRx. And that's $390 to get going for up to 5 users. And when you sign up and become part of the sprint, you'll have 6 extra weeks with me and Linda, our head of customer experience for SalesRx, to shepherd you through the process to make sure you get the most out of it. You're held accountable, et cetera. It's limited number of people. People have been through the sprints. We started these back in August. Say it was a godsend, and they have stayed with us and learned more than ever. So make your plans now. It starts on January 15th, and you'll be able to sign up for just $1. And I'll put that link in after this is over. By the way, if you like what I have to say, give me some love, give me some thumbs up, because the algorithms are all watching and we have an awful lot of you online right now. I just want to make sure that I hold on to you. Steve says, how do we make customers understand delays from vendors on their orders? It's not our fault. Oh, okay. Just a rant could be coming here, just so you know, Steve. This is one of my pet peeves when I bought things like furniture or flooring or window coverings. It's not our fault, it's the vendor's fault. I didn't buy it from the vendor, I bought it from you. And what you have to understand is, let's say I bought a $10,000 room of furniture. Once I give you $5,000 of my money towards this purchase, there's like a fuse on a bomb, of this virtual bomb out there that it's been lit. And I am just waiting to get my merchandise. And if you told me it's going to be here in 3 months, well, I accept that when I bought it, but once I've given you the money and I'm home, I'm concerned. And if you don't talk to me until it reaches that boiling point, which is where I had an event and I expected it to be there, or I was asked one too many times by my wife, husband, partner, significant other, you're going to see us explode at you, and then you're going to blame us. Let me make it very clear. I purchased from you, not the vendor. And to blame the vendor isn't helpful either, because let's say it's furniture and they can't finish this custom upholstery that you sold because the nail heads that you specified have to be gold with something, and that vendor is out of business, or they didn't get it in from China and they're still waiting. And they're not going to come back to you, who buys a piece of furniture, maybe from them once a year, once a month, whatever, and say, oh, the reason we can't do this is we don't have that little nail. They're just going to say, we're waiting for supplies. And so what you get caught up in that thing with the vendor is, oh, that stupid vendor, they're just slow in this and this, and that's not a good way to do it. So here's how to do it, Steve. You start off by trying not to sell anything custom. Sell what you have. Make it really clear. I have this now. We could deliver it now. We could deliver it. And if you know something's going to take 3 months, then tell me it's going to be 5 months. And then you can be a hero when it arrives in 2. That's great. But when I order it, you're going to tell me this is what the timeline is. when I get home, you're going to send me a text saying, hey, Bob, just a reminder, your order is probably going to ship sometime in May or June, and I'll be able to update you with text accordingly. And then in 2 weeks, you're going to send me a thing saying, hey, they've confirmed the order. I'm going to keep letting you know every 2 weeks if I have any word on it or not. I'm going to keep you in the loop. And that way, you've diffused that bomb. You just snip it, like Barney Fife used to say, just nip it in the bud. Because when you over communicate, and some people say like that's too much communication, but you have my money, so you cannot over communicate to me enough. And then when it comes in early and you can be the hero, then I love you. But I think so many custom businesses go through and forget that the customer bought it from you. I didn't buy it from that vendor. And if I bought it direct to consumer, you know, they're going to have to deal with this as well. But just understand, once I've given you that money. Oh, and by the way, part of the reason you don't understand how upsetting this is to a customer is you probably pay half as much as I do. You don't pay retail for it. You didn't pay that exorbitant cost. So you go through and you have a different experience altogether. You didn't have to wait like I did as a customer. You didn't have a middleman. You're working right with the vendor. And maybe because you were, the sales rep could tell you about those little nails. But as a customer, I don't get that. So I hope that helps. Cheryl asked a quick question here. Speaking of Google, I've been told spending less than $1,000 a month on Google ads is useless. Your thoughts? I don't know what that's based on, Cheryl. I would say if you spend $1,000 a month on Google ads, you darn well better be getting a $5,000 return or a $10,000 return on it. I think everybody's different. It depends on what you are advertising, and it depends entirely on how your sales system is set up to convert. So I'm not a fan of anyone that tells me, oh, this is the way Facebook works. Although I do a whole 14-day intensive on how Facebook live videos work. But even then, you know, I do live videos on LinkedIn, and I hear people say all the time, oh, LinkedIn is terrible for live videos. Yeah, less than 1% of people do live videos on LinkedIn, which is exactly why I do it, because that means I can be trying this out, and I don't know when the right time is. I do it on a Saturday. I do it on a Sunday. I'll do it late in the afternoon, because I think the idea that there is a one way to do social media is just not it. What's right is what's right for you and what's working for you. That's what counts. Tom asks, the most popular, best recommendations for holiday gifts for staff. Ours in particular is for a small restaurant of 12 people. Should we do personal or more generic gift cards? I think the big thing that most owners should key in on, Tom, and that's true if you're working for Sephora, you're the manager of a Gap or whatever it is, and you want to give something to your employees, the first step is stalk them on Facebook or Instagram. Look at what they're interested in. They're showing you all the time. If they're showing pictures of their pets or number of things, then you can be really personal. And even if you're going to be giving books or something, you can be very personal because you know that information, which we may not have known before. If you see that they're really into their car, you can give a pack of car washes. That would be something. If they're a live streamer, you can give them a portable ring light that does something different. But the more you can make it one-on-one, the more you'll stand out. I know that when it comes down to, I got a bonus one time early on, and it was, I think I had a choice of a trip or some furniture, and I ended up getting the furniture. I ended up getting a Lazy Boy recliner. That was one of them. And I still remember that that's what I got. Whereas when I've gotten cash bonuses, I don't remember them. And that's my point to you, that gift cards are not remembered. And an extra discount is not remembered. If you're going to do something, and maybe you're going to give an article of clothing, then make a big deal out of it. Don't just say you can take whatever you want. Wrap it up, put it in a gift box, and tell them to put it under their tree, or do something to make it stand out. So I hope that helps, Tom. And don't just give them free food from your restaurant. That's probably not going to stand out either. So there you go. Heidi says, what does the conversation sound like to employees at year end when typically bonuses and parties are an option to thank them as a hardworking team? This year with less cash on hand heading into Q1, cash bonuses are not on the table. I totally get that. And let's make no mistake, your crew is the reason why you're still here. And this is true for all of you, not just to this one question person. We have to remember that they are the ones who are making us successful. So even if you're just giving lottery tickets or something, or a personal handwritten card that's 3 paragraphs long about what they did for you this year, that's going to go a long way than to say, oh, there's no cash in the bank. I'm sorry. So consider that. The more, again, you realize we're more alike than different, that you can go through and stand out in this time, in this market, by saying, I see you, I respect you, I appreciate you. I think it's really good. I think it's a little dicey if you want to say something like, and in 6 months, we'll see where it is. But I would say in 6 months, if things have come back and, we have all the big V, we're all hoping on, that vaccine is going to be out there and make life better. It'll be a magic pill for all of us. Maybe for you to be thinking about, maybe you're going to do a Christmas in July party and you're going to do something really crazy and fun, and you can start thinking about how you would do that now. And that gives you something forward to be thinking of, like, I still want to do this. So consider that might be fun. Lewis says, best platforms for selling online: Shopify, Comment Sold, or others. This COVID thing is making us smaller retailers realize to survive, we have to have an online presence. Lewis, I don't care what the hell you use. The platform isn't going to make you successful. I think the granddaddy of all them is Shopify, but I think there are several platforms that can work. That's the one that I've had the most experience with, and people tell me over and over. But it doesn't matter. Comment Sold is a new one to the game. If you are great at live streaming and you have success with it, it can make things easier. But make no mistake, it's not the platform that will make you successful. It's your dedication to getting it right. So if it's like Comment Sold, again, you're going to have to learn how to do Facebook Lives or social, and you're going to have to know how to do it. And by the way, if you're doing this, make sure that you're shipping online within 24 hours. That is, many of you are on the Amazon Marketplace, and it's a requirement. That's one thing that some people bristle about. But again, think to the customer. You don't want that little bomb to go off because we're waiting and it doesn't show up on time. That's just really important. I'm going to take a quick look through any of your questions because I've been on here quite a while here this morning. And if there's anything, I will go through and answer it really quick. All right, so here's one from Heather. I had a customer interested in a console table yesterday. She's looked at it before. She asked about ordering it again if that one sells before she decides. I told her it would be at least 9 months before we can get it, and she bought it. I have to finish this. I'm trying to sell what we have. Yes, that's exactly it. I'm trying to sell what we have instead of ordering because I can't promise delivery dates. That's exactly it, Heather. And again, I would say if you see it now, it's probably going to be gone by the time you want to buy it. Again, if you are serious about being in business, you're going to have to learn how to master selling. That being friendly to people isn't going to cut it when your occupancy is down to 20% like it is in LA County, and where we're going to be on a roller coaster certainly for the next 3 to 6 months. And you can't just say, well, buy it now. You have to go through and be able to engage a stranger, discover the shopper, bond with them, and become a trusted advisor so that they will actually listen to you and take it home today. What did I say at the outset to this? All retail pins on is 3 ways that you have to execute. Do they buy it? Not do they like it? Do they buy it? Do they use it? Are they going to be happy with it? And do they keep it? Because ultimately, if we don't go through and find a way to do more of that, you're still going to have a lot of merchandise sitting, and that's your money not making you money. I don't want that. So there you go. All right. So anything else here? Let me take a quick look. We already said that one. Yeah, I think I'm going to answer. I think I will answer your questions. I think I'll answer your questions afterwards because it's always tough for you as a user experience. But I want you to just be aware of, we're deep into it right now. It's December the 6th. And yes, there will be some people still browsing. But your job is to keep focusing on your 4 walls. What can you do? How do you get people to go through and commit today to take it home, and then to keep it, and then to over communicate? If you do sell something, over communicate so that they don't have that bomb go off in your face and you're sitting around asking me a question. What do I do with customers who are getting upset at me? It's the vendor's fault. It's not the vendor's fault. You sold it. You're the brand. Let's put on our big boy, big girl pants, and let's have a great holiday season, understanding that it's going to be a holiday like no others. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you next week when I answer your questions live.